Hey everyone, welcome to another video of teaching the mechanical engineer how to code. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. So last time we went through dictionaries a little bit, and so far we've covered quite a bit of material. So I think for this lesson, it'll be a good idea to just kind of review everything, and I'll kind of take my hand off and ask you questions and see if you can, print results for me
Hmm.
using all the stuff we've learned so far.
Cool.
All right.
Hmm.
All right, so why
Awesome.
don't you start off? You need some. We'll initialize some variables that we can use and do some cool stuff. So why don't you
Hmm.
start by just initializing an int, a string, and a list, and you can put anything you want into those.
Okay. For the int, we'll do number 8, favorite number.
All right.
String, we'll do um, and then we want
Okay.
we want a list too.
Yeah, a list. You can do a list of strings.
Okay. You spell freight?
I'm honestly not sure. I don't think I've ever used that word.
Okay. Say
Probably, let's
cargo.
assume it is. Maybe a list
Say
of
cargo. We'll
trains.
say yeah. I think passengers can be considered freight too.
Sure.
Um, and then boxes.
All right, cool. So the first thing I'll have you do is let's do actually. Why don't you make the string there? Why don't you make that like a sentence, or at least just like a bunch of words separated by spaces?
Hmm.
All right, cool. So the first thing I'll have you do is why don't you just print out the word yes if the word great is in peaches.
Hmm. Okay, I think I need an if loop here. If great
If
and peaches, yeah. If statement, yeah. I want to print yes.
all right.
Let's run that. You need quotations here.
Yep.
Okay. To otherwise I didn't identify it that as a string, right?
Yeah. So if you don't have the quotes around it, then it assumes that great is a variable name.
Okay.
So, all right, cool. So that was good. So now let's do something with that range. Do you remember that function?
Yeah.
So let's loop through in the range number there,
Hmm.
and let's just print um, that index to the fourth power.
Okay.
So I want you to loop from 0 to 7, basically,
Uh-huh.
and print the current iteration index to the fourth power.
Okay. So let's use our counters I.
Yep.
Um, in is it something like this?
Yeah. So what is this? How many times will this loop execute?
Uh, from 0 to 7, so
Right.
eight
So it's
times.
important to note that, 8 is not included in there. So now I just want you to print, um, yeah, print uh, the I there, print that to the fourth power. I don't know if you remember the operator for that. Let's see.
Is there like a power function, something like that?
There is POW, but there's another quick way to do it
Huh.
without having to call anything. There's
Oh,
actual, like,
is it like star maybe? Because I think
just two.
is the third. Okay, that's power.
And then,
Star
yep.
star. Okay.
Yeah,
And
try that.
I need to increase my count, right? Increase number.
Um, no, so actually, so see how it's a for loop there?
Oh, it'll just run through
So,
it.
so it's iterating through that range
Okay,
automatically.
okay.
Yep.
And it'll automatically go in increments of 1, right? Even though I didn't assign that.
Yep. So
Okay.
range has some other parameters that you can pass and you can dictate how you want the counter to move, but with
Uh-huh.
default parameters, it'll go by 1.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Sweet.
All right, so now using your for loop there, you can get rid of the print statement.
Uh-huh.
So now I want you to, in your freight list there,
Mm-hmm.
just append the number that I to that list. So it currently has 3 elements. I want it to have 11 elements.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to say freight equals append? No. Freight dot append, maybe? Yeah. And just I think, right?
Okay, run that. We'll see. Well, actually, but go ahead and run it. Yeah.
None type object has no attribute append.
So the only thing on that line there is you don't actually have to say freight equals that. You can just say freight.append. So you can get rid of the assignment now.
Okay.
There you go. And then outside of that for loop, why don't you print, right? And actually, before the for loop, print it too, so we can see how it changes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now, what are the 2 types in that list after you do that?
There are strings and ints.
Right. So it has mismatching types within it, but that's okay, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, cool. So now, let's see, what else can I have you do? Why don't you ask for some user input here?
Mm-hmm.
So let's ask the user for a number.
Okay. Okay. I think it's input, and then you ask the user for a number.
Very formal. I like it. But demanding. So very good job. That's good. So now with that number, why don't you just print their number multiplied by the length of your freight list?
So I have to figure out the length in freight.
Yep.
I remember this len function that returns the length in freight. So
Sure.
I think I'm gonna try that.
All right, cool. Let's give it a shot.
Let's give number 2, and I think my length in freight is 11, so that should give us 22. Okay, not 22. It looks like
so why
there's 11 twos.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think that's going? Why do you think that's happening?
I'm not too sure, actually. I mean, it's not.
So I think actually, in an old lesson, we talked about concatenation of strings. So basically, it's legal to say you can actually. So see peaches, your string up there on line 2.
Uh-huh.
You can technically say print peaches plus peaches, and it will print out that string twice. So adding strings together will concatenate them, which basically just means pushing them together.
Yeah.
So you can also do this thing called replication with strings, which is the multiplier operator.
Uh-huh.
So in this case, when you have that input function, what is the data type of user number when you call input?
An integer, giving them a number.
So why don't we do this? After line 12 there, why don't you type this? So print after that, yeah. Type, and then open parenthesis, and then user number. Yep. So this is going to print our data type now. So why don't we run this, what it does. So type is a really useful command.
Okay, so yeah, the input takes it in as a string, even though it's a number in our world.
So what do you have to do to get on line 14 to get the result that we want or we expect?
You have to convert it to an integer.
Right. Do you remember how to do that and what it's called? You do that when we switch.
Is there like a convert or a change or switch function?
It's called casting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? I think we casted something to an int before.
So user number equals. Is it like user number dot cast?
Nope. It's Remember, we want to change it over to an int, right? Do you remember this now? If we just want it as an int.
No, not exactly.
So in this, instead of cast, you can just type int, and then it's a function, and it will take in user number as its input parameter.
So this will just convert it into an int?
So now you have to do open parenthesis.
Oh.
And then user number.
Okay.
Yeah. So now you're saying assign user number to an integer.
Okay. So for example, if it was an int and I want to convert it to a string, this would be str, right?
Yeah. So that's how you're going to do casting. There's a few of these built-in ones. And actually, why don't you hover over int again and like go to type it so the IntelliSense can pop up? Hit backspace once. Yeah. See how it's a C there?
Yeah.
So that's casting. So that's kind of a hint for you that PyCharm can give you. So.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah. Now why don't you run this and we'll see what we get.
Give me a number. Let's try 4.
There you go.
So 4 times 11, 44. All right.
There you go. So yeah, I guess the big thing to note is always keep track of your data types and know these built-in functions that you're calling, like input and whatnot. Know what their return types are.
Yeah.
Because especially when you're dealing with strings and ints and these arithmetic operators, they're going to be valid for both of them, so you can get some weird results. But yeah, good job. That was a good review, I think.
Sweet. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we could do another quick review. Maybe we can talk a little more about dictionaries and stuff. And then I think after that, we're going to go over a full lesson on how to use functions.
Sweet. Awesome.
All right. Well, great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.